Hi-oh, beaver! Away!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to KritzKast. We're into week 3, which, to be honest, is pretty much exactly the middle of the regular season for season 18 of ETF2L Highlander, where we're going to be covering another Premiership game. We're on to that, I have to say it, it's the Marmite of maps. You either love it, you hate it, it's CP Steel, and we're going to be seeing who's going to be victorious between inVision and Weedcake Sellers, both around the middle of the table at the moment. inVision losing their first game, but coming out victorious in week 2, whereas Weedcake Sellers dropped all the points to failure, but picked up 3 against Strong Opinions in their second official, meaning, there's 3 points between them. Potential for Weedcake Sellers to do a cheeky little leapfrog here, and whichever team comes out victorious tonight will have a decent chance of making the top 3 and therefore the playoffs. I'm CeeJaey, and I'm joined tonight by extrasolar, with Wiethoofd doing the camera production and all the glorious little tidbits you can see on the screen. Extra, this is one of those games where the winner could really put their foot down and make a mark and a push for playoffs, right?
Oh yeah, we've certainly got the whole three-way split going on here. We've got, of course, Kitty, who played just this week. They're on 7 points currently, inVision on 6, and then Weedcake. They're on those 3 points, but again, those 3 points were picked up against your team, Strong Opinions. So I feel like Weedcake's only got a lot to prove this season. I think they're looking to, get, as you said, cheeky 6 points against inVision here, if they really want to go for it. Nice playoff push.
I already mentioned that we dropped points extra. You don't need to keep rubbing it in, man. We're like 5 minutes into the cast. You just salt in the wound. No, they played really well. And to just reiterate, they didn't just pick up those 3 points by winning a map. They did pick up points on the 2 maps. They got the golden cap lost technically as it is in Highlander. Now, if you lose a Koth map 3-2, then you get a point. And then they got the extra 2 points from winning one of those maps. So definitely showing well. And they actually did play pretty well against failure in week 1 as well. Some of their players actually pushing some decent stats. So, for a team that played Division 1 for the past couple of seasons, I believe, definitely showing that they can make their mark on Prem this season. They're just not there to make up the numbers. But we do have the rosters extra. Is there a team that you'd rather kind of go over first?
Well, I'd rather go over Weedcake first, just because, one, I was actually in the team in the Division 1 seasons, but now Bud wants to play heavy, so of course he's on that one now. But I think one thing that's really going to benefit Weedcake is the pickup of Noz. I know Noz absolutely destroyed last week against your team again. That's the main change that I really want to highlight, is that Noz as a pickup. I know Murphy is not really available that much anymore, so they've just got Noz on the roster. But anyway, Weedcake's current roster consists of Scout is Spans, Soldier is Bees, Pyro is Sis, oh man, again that's Noz, Heavy is Buck, Engineer is Sun, Medic Sebastiani, Sniper Denkra, and the Spy Fire, who is also the team captain.
Yeah, and coming up against them on inVision, we have Crayon on Scout, who I'm not sure if he's played so far this season, but they've had a few mercs here and there. Duo on Soldier. McNando is on Pyro. Now, McNando is a name probably people are familiar with, having played for the likes of the Bureau and SDCK over the seasons. More well known as a spy main. I've seen him play very well as a sniper, a scout, a soldier. Never seen him play Pyro, so a very interesting addition indeed. Then we have D-Toad, the man who's played more classes in Prem at this point than I think anybody else. But he is the demo. Tuka on Heavy. Nipnop is going to be on Engineer. Tercio on Medic. Stinghan, the manager, on Sniper. And then we have Yerba Mate. If you guys wondering, I should say, who Yerba Mate is, probably recognize his old name Chupa, the Polish spy who has played for the likes of Strong Opinions, Failure, and the like. So a lot of experience on both sides there, I'd say extra. But I would probably say, other than perhaps, the likes of Noz, inVision has a lot more experience playing at this level.
Oh yeah, you've got a lot of some of the old guard there in inVision. Crayon's been around since forever. McNando, as you said, old-time player, and D-Toad, of course, really, really old-time player. Tuya as well, very good heavy. I mean, a lot of spy mains have I've brought some maybe frustration at his spy checking there, so hopefully we're seeing some of that today. Tertio as well, been around for a long time. Nipnop as well, not so much in Europe, only really recently, American engineer main. And Chupa, as you said, as well, been around for a while. So you've sort of got a mix of the old guard and some of the more up-and-coming players. But again, like Weekake, they certainly got a lot of DM, and some players have a lot of experience on their team.
Absolutely, and you talk about up-and-coming players. A lot of these players have played around, a lot of people have been referencing them as kind of semi-open squad. Remember the old Prem team open squad? Because they have the likes of Spans, Bees. They did have Murphy on demo for a while, Denkra on Sniper, of course. So players like that who've played at Prem level for a long time. But then there's the likes of Sis and Buck and Sun. Sun won Div 1 last season as an engineer on his team. So there is all these players who, they're good enough. And these are the players who have been playing around that level. So it does come down, especially, we start talking about the map now, it is, of course, Steel, and it's not just about DM and even experience, it's about how well you can put that DM and experience in combination with teamwork on your team. And we always talk about it as a map where upsets are potentially there, because, if you have that edge, you make those AE pushes work, a supposedly weaker team can often beat a bigger team. But, I mean, when the teams are very equal like this, it's hard. I don't know. I mean, do you think there's one of these teams is more teamwork orientated, or is that still untested so far this season?
It is a bit early to say, but just in the terms of my experience with Weekake, I know that they do sometimes struggle with just getting their players together, just for coordinated plays. I think that's just to do with the age of the team, really, and the changes they've made over the past few months. So inVision might have the edge at the start, but I know that Weekake, we were always pretty good at Steel when I was on the team. So I think they've it's really hard to say, actually. You sort of got, as you said, the teamwork aspect of the map with inVision. A lot of players at inVision are around for a long time. But that's also a team that's made changes, so I'm wondering just how each team will just cope with the cohesion aspects of the changes that the new players are making to them.
Absolutely, and I would agree with that. Like Weekake, having seen them sort of play the first couple of weeks, they seem to have this consistent roster. Other than this demo, when the season was supposed to start with Murphy, then they had Noz come in. We scrimmed them yesterday or the day before, and they actually had Sandburn murking for them on demo. So I don't know whether that's going to come to punish them in the long run, whether that sort of lack of consistency over the week is going to affect them when it comes to that. Because I would say Demo and Soldier are very, very important on this map, because you are the splash damage classes. You can do so much in those chokes, and the Demo is often going to be the one holding those chokes, denying the pushes, and of course leading the charge when you're on the attack. Compared to inVision, yeah, I'd say they have had a lot more changes. They have got a lot of players new coming into the team. When we played against them, they were missing a couple of these players. They've had to use mercs and things like that. But at the same time, that combo of Detoad, Tuka, and Tercio, those guys have played together for so long now, man. They just must know each other's brains inside out. So that's an intimidating combo.
Oh yeah, especially if you come into certain holes. In recent years, a lot of teams have sort of learnt the power of the heavy in the heaven spot here. They've also, with the SCK AE push, a lot of teams would just sit your heavy outside a connector, and Tuyo in that is deadly, it has to be said. So yeah, you've really got the cohesion from the combo there. But I wouldn't really underestimate Weekake though. I mean, you've got Bees, who's been on that team as well for pretty much forever. The past year, I think he's been on Weekake. And you've got, I think Buck actually main call, so I'm not sure how much the change of demo will actually affect them.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a fair point, actually, yeah. I mean, to be fair, Noz came in and played in week 2 and did very well, so it's kind of It's hard. It's easy to speculate, but often it's hard to get an accurate kind of description. And you know what? With Steel, you never know. Like, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, remember last season I casted a week 3 game, and it was between inVision and SDCK. And for my money, SDCK is probably one of the best teams to have played Steel over the past couple of seasons, past few seasons. They always seem to be pretty strong in it, and they lost 4-2 to inVision. So, if I can't even make a prediction based on that, sometimes it's just hard when two teams are very, very, very close. I mean, looking at them overall over the course of the season, this is week 3. After this, we'll just have 2 more match days, and it will be we've got Gullywash and Coal Plant in week 4. Week 5, we have, of course, Upward, that final payload map. Do you think that either of these teams, if they were to get a win here today, can you see them being playoff contenders?
Oh, certainly. I think they want to try and get a kitty run for the money at least. I think Week8 are aiming for third place this season, just as their regular goal. Fire getting another third place medal to add to his backpack. But yeah, I think both teams are really wanting to make that playoffs push, and we're at the midpoint of the season now. Both teams fairly close, and I think a clean 6 points either way. If a team gets 6 points here, they will probably get playoffs off of it. But I'm not sure we're going to see a 6, so I think it will be a golden cap either way. I don't want to speculate too much as to which side will get that golden cap, just because, as you said, it is CP Steel. There is that wild card factor to it, and that's why a lot of people don't like it, because your gameplay can, of course, go from amazing B-hole to suddenly getting completely irritated and ease capped in like 2.5 minutes. It just can happen. It was a reason why a lot of people didn't like Owl Pit. Eventually, of course, removed from the map pool, but I'm of the opinion, I like Steel. It is one of my favourite maps, one of my favourite Highlander games I'd say recent history, like post-Season 9, I would say my favourite game. It was actually a game between Strong Opinions and I think it was Wasp, actually, on CP Steel, which I think was a golden cap to Wasp. And that was when they had the likes of Condog at the time playing for them. He's known as Connor now. We had I think that was one of my favourite games of
That
Steel.
was Season 10. That was, not Wasp, it was, Premtech.
Premtech, yes.
Yeah, Season Premtech. 9 we lost to... so Season 9, my experience with Seals, Season 9, we lost it to Chess Club, who are, I would say, the best team to have ever played Steel. And in our infinite wisdom, we practiced Steel throughout the entire season. We're going to practice this map. We're going to get good at it. We got to the Prem final, and then we were like, yeah, you know what? We're going to let them pick it. And then they picked it, and then they beat us on it. But thankfully, there are other maps in existence. We ended up winning anyway. But yes, very much a love-hate relationship with Steel. Sometimes you play really well, and sometimes you just don't. And we're going to see the games going live now. inVision are in the blue, so they'll be attacking first. For those of you new to Highlander, new to Steel maybe, you just need to cap the E point. The other points open doors for you. They shut doors down for the defensive team, and they make it easier for you to cap the E point. But as soon as you've capped the E point, that is when the round is ending. And we Cake Sellers are in the red. They'll be defending, and then we'll be swapping around for them, trying to beat the time. I mean, again, we're just seeing pretty much a standard whole setup here. Extra, we got the Sentry really aggressive from the defensive side. Sniper just watching B. Everyone on B, really, except for a couple of people just keeping eyes on A.
Yeah, no, B is usually like, say, on B and build his conch up. We got Tuya right away trying to take top of his demo man here. They could go face down the 450 HP class of Buckler and Bees. This is one reason why Bees like to stay on the B side here, just so we can assist as heavy in staying alive here. Buck has been knocked off, so we probably want to go and take a teleporter back up.
Yeah, Denker is actually playing on the floor. Now, normally you see snipers playing a little bit higher up and looking through that window because it gives you such a good sightline, but it is a little bit more risky. Stinger actually getting a pick there onto Noz. Goes down to Denkra, but that is a demo pick, and the defensive side does have fairly long spawns on this map, which only get longer with each point that does get capped. So no demo for the time being. Might be an opportunity for inVision to maybe go for a sack, but it looks like they're just waiting. They want a little bit more to work with, I guess.
Yeah, I think they're just scared Denker in this side. As you said, like normally snipers do play higher. It's more of a crack shot, but the upside is a bit safer. So Denker is opting to swap safety for just watching this front entrance here. But Tuya and Dito combine those to take down Bees and Bucks. They will just try and take top here in the house, and inVision will opt to use the supercharge in and get the gun. The counterhot comes out from Weak Sellers here, looking fairly equal so far, but they've already lost their heavy and soldier. And big jump in for Dito, comes in, kills Denker here and the gun.
Oh,
and he pikes head as well, yeah.
This guy's a nutter. Like, that was so well executed. They did the thing where they put the damage on top, they removed Buck, they killed Bees as well, but oh yeah, fire, huge pick there. That's really going to open things up and allow them to even hold the C point. But Dito there, definitely the man to make things happen there, taking the Uber. When the Uber was over, he was like, I don't care, I'm going in deep. And just, that was a clutch play by Fire. It means now that we Cake Sellers have a bit of an opportunity to hold C here and just slow down this push coming in from inVision.
Yeah, they're opting to hold the connector area just lightly here. They haven't got their heals in there, and I think that's the right thing to do when it's equal. But they've actually opted to move Seb in here, see if they can get some shots off with Denkra. They're opting for the passive connector to hold. Sis will catch out the spy there, Chupa, or the Yerba mate as he's currently called. Buck now is just holding down his connector. They've killed the scout as well, trying to go for a flank as well, and he's just going a bit further forwards. And now inVision are just opting to just take the players up onto cliff here, get some high ground over here.
Yeah,
the sniper, of course, isn't watching it.
This is the danger of being aggressive in the BC connector, because it doesn't give you much of an escape route if you're not controlling that cliff area. You see Tukio and Dito's jumping in. Dito's on the point. He's like, okay, he dies from that, and actually Denkra manages to get the snipe onto the heavy. So things kind of stabilizing a little bit, but a lot of aggression coming in from weak Cake Sellers in this connector. They want to hold it all the way close to B side, which is something you don't normally see. And with Denkra dying now, 2 points capped, 20-second respawn for him. Looks like they want to make a move on this cliff.
Yeah, and Stinger's also pushed Bees off with the body shot there, but Dito got down very weak to Buck. He's just using the head glitch spot there, just doing some damage, getting people off the cliff. But yeah, a lot of teams like to hold in the BC connectors because it gives you that access to the E point. Should the attackers try and go for a white room push onto E, you're that much closer to the E point. You haven't got to rotate across the entire map to get it, basically. They're opting to just walk across though inVision now, are they?
Yeah, this is really questionable positioning from weak Cake Sellers. They've allowed them to come in behind, and they're losing players now. Bees has gone down. Yerba is going to be caught out there by Noz's pipes. But you just see the positioning from weak Cake Sellers has allowed inVision to basically get time on the point and get behind them. They basically flanked them. Fire is actually on the point. I don't know if he's going to make a play onto Tercio again. That could really help his team out here. But yeah, I mean, weak Cake Sellers just... That was almost like they were just loosely holding C. It's like they just really didn't want to commit to that.
Yeah, that's really the main downside to the connected hold. Like, as soon as you see that there's nobody coming white, you really want to try and get back to the passive C hold, because it gives you more options actually defending at the point. And now, of course, you've got the bridges coming across, so all 9 classes can now get onto the E point and cross freely across both sides of the map. So, but very questionable hold there from Weekake. I mean, they're still free down here, and there's no flank for them. So now White Room is completely open, and now Nitnop's going to opt to just come across here, get on the point, and they're just flooding across now, inVision.
Yeah, I mean, Weekake Sellers are holding on D, so now that's allowed inVision to just get forward. Buck's gone down to D-Toad, and Spans is going to run onto the point, but he's got a whole mishmash of players there. He's going to get gunned down by Tukio, and again, like you said, he's up in heaven, he's in his favourite spot extra, and this is going to be difficult for inVision to try and counter here. They have an Uber, but so does Tercio.
Oh, but D-Toad actually gets popped on and falls into the pit. That's going to be a bit of a detriment to their push there, and Seb's going to connect here with his demo. Just seeing if we can chase the medic out. And yeah, that's it. Sun gets Tercio in the after, but Tuya is cleaning up people from heaven here. There's a reason why it is called heaven. It's just so safe up there for in your engineer. He does get forced out there by the spy, so we'll drop it off into under. And it's looking now like for now it's a successful hold from Weekake, but those respawns are so long for the defending team. They're so relatively short for the attackers that they can just come and take White Room here.
Yeah, every time you die on the defensive side, you're getting a 27-second respawn. That is the length of the queue right now, where it's pretty much instant respawns for the attackers. Doyo is on the point, gets a little bit more cap time, but it's actually a lot of people there just defending it. Buck is there, but oh, big push, Crayon. He's going to try and stay, and can he stay alive? He might be able to stay alive here. I'm worried about... No, he's going to fall into the pit. That's another pit death. But a little bit of a little struggling here. I think they're allowing Weekake Sellers to get a little bit more set up.
Yeah, that was really well played for them. Like, as soon as Vision lost Tuya from the heaven spot, they knew they could just get through connector and just force people out because they haven't got people just watching coming through that side. And now they've gotten Sun out back along, but he's getting pressured out by Tuya here, who knows the power of the heaven spot. You can stop the NG getting set up. That is just one more thing. I like to think of Seal as just sort of 2 sides of the map, where you have the BC side of the map, and then you have the White Room side of the map. And Heaven is like on the White Room side, just because it's the defender's other spawn, and they can just watch pretty much everything. And now they've got complete control of this high ground here, forcing Weekake to take this into them. They have got this advantage though, so they will be trying to push through. They picked off Cray and they got Stingen as well. And they've got the position weak. There's a soldier actually in, will take out Noz and Seb, and the collapse comes in from inVision here. They're just looking to walk across onto the point now. There's only 4 left alive for Weekay. It's got a few respawns, but no heals. And again, like, the entire combo and the flank now are on 20-second respawns. Dankwich has got a 28-second respawn. There's only 2 left alive, 1 left alive for Weekay now, and that will be round for inVision here.
You don't think Fire's going to win this 1v9?
Oh, he gets the kunai, a few trick stabs, you never know. He's on the point. Sadly, the spy class could not kill 9 players by himself there.
Yeah, I mean, it could have happened. Who knows? But no, I was going to say that from what you said in the pregame there about Tuha's like spy checking skills up in heaven there, Fire uncloaked in that little spot in heaven where there's like a little corner almost. And he came round and Tuha just snapped. He just snapped that aim to where Fire was, took him down, and then when he realised that people were pushing him through BC, dropped down to toilet, or whatever people call it, the area underneath heaven, and then went up the stairs and managed to get another couple of kills. So he was just rotating to wherever the danger was and did so much. 6:45, I'd say, isn't the fastest time. You'd expect to see some more kind of, I don't know, closer to 5 minutes. I think inVision, they did well, but I feel based on the first few points they were pushing there, they would have wanted a bit of a faster time. But Dito, you talking about this?
I was going to say, I'm talking about this in pre-match. He's using my strategy, the Scottish distance strategy. Different spots to me. I prefer to stick off White Room and the choke point on B, but he's just sticking off this BC connector.
They're holding A.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I haven't seen like a proper like gun hold on A in a good few years. And everyone just gets sort of destroyed and they're backing out here. Like,
Tuha's still alive. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's really interesting. Actually, we've got a pause here, but the A, like the whole like, there used to be like a soft hold, and when you sort of get your demo man, your heals on him just so he doesn't die. You get your soldier and a scout there. But the gun there as well. I guess, you know, if you're on like Space Wrench or something, you can get back quick to B and just get your gun up. But I've not seen like a full sentry on B in a long time.
No. I mean, Tuha was like, so I don't know if the camera can show where the degreaser is on the ground. He was in that kind of bush right in the corner. So people ran past and he took down Denkra and Sis. He took down the sniper and the pyro. And then he was about, I don't know, 10 HP or something like that. And then he's just eating a sandwich behind the rock. I don't know whether that hasn't been communicated that he's still alive, because Spans and Bees are like on A now, kind of getting ready to cap. So Tuha could kind of, he's got the Tommy slabs. They're not going to hear him revving up. He could potentially sneak behind and maybe get a kill or at least slow down the cap. But very strange holding A. I mean, it's something, this is a big criticism of the map, the fact that you basically give up a point in order to hard hold another point. And usually teams will just have nothing on A other than maybe a spy just keeping an eye out. You hard hold B and have your flank watching the right room just in case stuff decides to rotate, you know, through the A side. I don't know. I mean, interesting. And we are on pause now. Sun is there.
So you're actually on Sun. Oh my god. That could have been disastrous if they hadn't reacted that fast. So yeah, that's very interesting actually. I mean, as a heavy, you know, by the time you're respawning, you're probably just going to be back on B anyway, and there's usually a teleporter going upstairs. But look at this, Weekay have already just come in on B, are taking a trade here very quickly. Just realised that like they've given up the heavy to watch the A point, but they've killed Buck and they've gotten res as well.
Yeah, actually it was an early Uber used by inVision, and Tertius has gone down as a result of it, because Spans is just running in, he's taking down Detoad as well, so that's a 2k for that man, and that's going to be a very easy B cap here. Dwo's going to come in, nice rocket, takes down Sun, but Sebastiani is nice and safe, and the difference here compared to what we saw earlier when inVision were pushing B, this time Weekay Sellers have kept their medic alive. Now they're going to be attacking with an advantage. I don't know if the camera is picking up Sebastiani, it looks to me like he's just permanently crouching.
Crouch and floating around.
Skating around. But yeah, they're capping C already, and this is potentially going to be very fast time for the first 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you can keep Medic alive, you can keep the momentum going on this map. And Steel, I think, as well, it is very momentum-based. If you can keep that advantage, you can just control the side of the map they're pushing now. They're opting to get back into connectors here. I'd imagine they want to try and get their flank onto We here, but they can't really do that since the inVision will set up a sentry gun in heaven. But they have got these bridges across, so again, every class can cross, every class can get on the point. And Beast is opting to go in and try and get some damage on the Ascension NG, but all alone, only the black box, so won't be doing too much there by himself.
I'm looking at Fire. He's going to that cloak spot again. He's trying to go for the sentry, but sentry does go down. Yeah, Bug takes it down.
So just W's in, walks across, gets it.
Yeah, I mean, Nipnop spent like half a second looking at the spy there, and that was all it needed for a little bit of a distraction. So it's bought enough time for Tercio to get an Uber, and they are set up in White Room. So now they can rotate between the D and the E points quite comfortably. But they are losing some players here. Crown and Dwyer have both gone down. Uber comes in from Weak Cake Sellers onto the D point, but great denial here from Rez. Actually, he's going to survive as well. The counter Uber comes in, surely going to clean up some frags. They've lost Stingham, they've lost the sentry. It's not looking too great for them right now. Tuka's also gone down.
Spy's chasing down Seb as well. He's so weak. But we'll get the health pack, so I imagine he will be able to survive there. Yeah, there's a reason that is called Death Corridor. Because it's this really massive, long choke point that you've got to walk through. There's like a million spots to hide stickies. And even if you do get all the way through, you've got a D-toad on the other side of a trap on the other one. So that means that you've got to pop to get through. But the thing is that Tercio was nice and safe in White Room there. So he just had, like, it was a tale of two Ubers, really. Like, Tercio Uber was just so much better. But during all this, they've neglected the E-point. They're just stuck in White Room now in Vision are. And it's equal Ubers now.
Yeah, and there is 4 people on the point, including a Pyro who's just reflecting, and Sis gets the reflect pipe onto Nipnov. Tuka is also going to go down to the Frontier Justice crits from Sun. They are just cleaning up here. Still ×3 on the point. There doesn't look like anybody who can actually deny this. I think Weak is going to do it, but 3 minutes to spare extra.
Yeah, Weak Cake saw that Death Corridor was a very bad idea. So, and the spy failed to kill Seb when he was running out, so all he did was he just jumped back down to BC connector, waited for his respawns to come in. I believe the teleport was around BC as well, so yeah, that was pretty much just a clean rotation from Weak Cake. And despite the fact that, again, Seal is one of those maps, despite the fact that inVision completely, like without question, won that fight, just because they did not kill Seb, they were able to just walk in with their heals for BC connector with their respawns.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about the bridges extending on C. Like, C is such a crucial point. There was a time, I remember, a couple of years ago, where a lot of people were just going A, B, and then really trying to hard commit onto E, which is a good strat. But the thing is, when you've only captured A and B, you can't get most of your team onto the E point because the bridges don't extend. So you can get a scout over there, soldier, demo, a pyro if he's going to use a flare gun to jump over there, or the power jack. But it's hard to get the majority of your team on there and around the rest of the map with any sort of ease. So once you've captured the C point, it extends those bridges, allows everybody to get across and get more access around between the BC connector, the White Room, and to the E spawn side. But also it basically gives you, the attacking team, instant respawns. As soon as you die, as soon as you've seen the death cam, then you're going to respawn, and the enemy team gets about 25 plus seconds each time they die. So it is a really important point, and I do feel that inVision maybe, I don't want to use the word throw, but holding A is an extremely odd decision, and it basically led to a cascade of events that they had to give up C as well. And once you've given up those 3 points after only about a minute and a half, you've got 5 minutes to hold D and E, and it's just very hard.
Oh yeah, once those bridges are across, it's just so easy for the attackers to get an advantage across. I mean, they've got instant respawns, free rotations across the map. As well, with the C point, like, if you can just snowball that and keep your momentum going, again, like, you've basically won that round as long as the time isn't, ridiculously restrictive for you. I think the E cap is a 48-second cap with ×3, if I recall correctly. And the thing is with C as well, like, the reason, again, why the attackers really want to prioritize getting that point is because it's so far away from the defenders if they're defending E. If they're forced to defend E, that's why you want to get your flank getting onto E once you cap B, getting some cap time to just bait people away from C. So, because it creates such an advantage for you, but if the defenders ever have to leave C, it's such a disadvantage from them. Like, you see a lot of teams, they'll just leave 1 or 2 people on C capping it while the rest of the team are fighting in White Room or BC connector, and you've got pressure on E. Like, it could be literally any class capping it, but it's one more point, and again, it's instant respawns, those bridges opening. It's such a good point to cap.
It is, and you see it so far in this game, we've not seen a team capture the D point, which I think the only thing the D point really does is it locks down a spawn on the E side, and it brings up the railings on those bridges, which, you know, I mean, if you're an expert TF2 player, you don't need any sort of railings to keep you on the bridge. But yeah, we are seeing, should we say, a more traditional hold now, extrasolar?
Yes.
We're seeing inVision on B doing what, you know, 90% of teams are going to do.
Yeah, Singen actually opted to just watch from the balcony area at the start there. I suppose if the heavy's being rushed, you know, it's, you know, an instant 150 plus body shot is going to help a lot to save his life, really. But WeakCake, they're opting to just put everyone apart from Seb on A. And this is what a lot of teams will do. They'll try really hard to find the spy on A point, so then he can't call if the medic comes out on A, so he can't call if there's an AE push coming, or if they're going drop down or whatever. But Yerba Mate was actually in White Room for a lot of that, so of course you can't kill the spy because those doors are open to you. You've capped A.
Yeah, and he's safe and sound and just doing a little bit of recon work. He's just letting his team know. He's going to say, hey, I can see 5 players. I can see their medic coming soon, so this is going to be an AE push from WeakCake.
The aggression from Noz, though, he's already in BC connector, and his team hadn't even crossed yet. He's just there, just doing some damage with bees.
Look at bees as well. He's managed to get all the way around, and he actually takes down the pyro as well, so Rez is dead. They have total control of this connector.
Oh yeah, once the pyro dies as well, and that forces inVision to use in there as well. Very bad Uber really for them because they were in such a poor position so far away. And that's the thing, if the pyro dies in this connector, it offers so much space because your demo can peek it, your heavy can peek it. Because normally if you walk across this connector, you just get poofed off into the pit by the right click. But and Fire's actually on the NG, he gets Nipnop. And yeah, that's again, there's no gun, there's no pyro, there's nothing that can push you off into the pit anymore. Really, like maybe a demo stick if you jump, but no, there's just nothing anymore. Rez has only just respawned here, but WeakCake have actually left. I think their NG might have died trying to get into heaven, so they've opted just to go round through their spawn just to take B. And of course, since inVision were forced to use their Uber onto the E point there, they've got a bit of an advantage now. They can walk into connector quickly.
Yeah, it was a nice little moment there when Noz landed on one of the ridges in the pit, and he was about 52 HP. So he had a sticky, perfectly placed, launched himself all the way around into toilet, ran forward, managed to get the health pack, and then Spans just came up behind him and bam bam. Well, not Spans, sorry, Crayon. So it was like, kind of all for naught. But Sebastiani still has this 100% Uber. Tercio up to 100% himself. B point, and again, inVision are getting forced early.
Yeah, I don't think they even got forced that. I think they maybe thought that WeakCake were closer than they actually were, because the only person that was really peeking forward there was Noz, but WeakCake was still holding back in the connector, like away from any kind of a sniper sight line. And I think it was sort of like a double bluff there, like inVision wanted, they were holding just outside the corner, just out of view, waiting for WeakCake to come in and use into them. But then WeakCake thought, okay, we'll just send a demo man forward and get some spam forwards. And of course then he called, they're all holding close. So then their own strategy was sort of used against them then.
Just they played themselves, you know, just and again we're seeing this is less than 2 minutes for B. C is probably going to be under 3 minutes at least. I mean, WeakCake sellers seem to have the first 3 points really done quite well. They've 3 minutes and 8 seconds. That's still fairly fast. And again, we're in a situation where they have an Uber advantage.
Like, he's already got his sentry. He's actually opting for a sentry jump. I think he was trying to pick Nipnop off there. He'd be questionable from the sun there, but they have got a replacement sentry gun. Oh, Jupa gets 7 dank for that. I was going to say the other replacement sentry gun of Buck here, just like watching it. But a double stab on the combo, that's going to halt their push there for a while now. And Tertio is going to have about a 50% advantage for this defense here. And opted to take White Room with it.
That is so clutch. I mean, if they hadn't got the backstab there and got the drop onto Seb, then that Uber was coming in from WeakCake sellers, and there was very little inVision could have done about it. It would have given total control to the blue team of the E point. But as it is, Tercio now has the advantage up to 90%. They're nice and safe in White Room. Nipnop doesn't really have heaven control anymore. He's running minis.
WeakCake have realised this. They're just going to take heaven. And this is the thing, heaven is one of those spots on the map where, despite your disad, I have the high ground, Anakin. You know, it's just this massive area where you're just very safe, and you can also drop off if need be. I mean, Stingen's being completely denied here in terms of space, so you can just drop off if you get just pushed off here. And now they're forcing inVision just to think like, come to us. You have to come to us now, despite the fact that they have the Uber advantage. They really have to rotate all the way around. And Seb is coming up. He's so close with Uber, and he only just gets it there. So they've really turned their Uber disadvantage into just an equal situation just by taking heaven there. It was really clutch Seb getting his Uber there, but he has taken it. But we'll see how inVision react to this try and repush. They have lost 3 players though, and the cap is so close. And again, the Heaven Control is here. Crayon's in on the combo, but it won't be enough. Decisive is coming in. He has saved the point for now, but again, because he's not focusing on the combo up top with Buck and Seb, and Tuya comes in, gets caught out as well. Bees is in, and yeah.
Absolute nuke there from Bees, and Noz takes down Tercio, Sting, and everyone in that area there between D and E just getting absolutely destroyed. But Dwo comes in.
Consolation pick at the end from the Spy as well. Dro's playing the point, but it won't be enough. They got an extra 10 seconds or so off of that. But definitely. Yeah, that's the thing with Heaven. Again, it's high ground, it's safe, but not just that, it also splits the focus, right? You had inVision were forced to walk all the way around D because an Uber, if they were to take an Uber onto them from the White Room side, from the window side, they would have had to use that Uber to walk across point and deny it, and then get all the way to Heaven. During which time, Seb should have just gone, right, I'm going to drop down to the toilet and run away, and then he's got advantage. So Heaven often, it's such a powerful part of the map, it can just create that lose-lose situation, because inVision have to come out of the spawn to deny the point, but of course if you're looking at the point, you're not looking at Heaven, and vice versa, so they couldn't really do anything in response to that. Seb getting that Uber there was just the final nail in the coffin for inVision.
Yeah, I mean, we were watching that Uber ticking up, right? It was like 97. He was down to about 60 odd HP. You know, you think if they'd been a little bit more aggressive 5-10 seconds earlier, caught him out, who knows what could happen? But it is kind of the intimidation of that spot, seeing a heavy up on the high ground, fully buffed, 450 HP of meat in the high ground. Sun doing some cheeky sentry jumping there, just for no reason, just because he can. But 515, that's still a very doable push, and I would say that if inVision had pushed at the same pace as they did the first 3 points in the first round, they would have had a time very similar to this. So still all to play for here, but Wiethoofd is going to be the first death, so nothing coming out of their demo man in this opening phase.
Yeah, I mean, with Wiethoofd down, they can't really push the heavy out of top. So Tuya's just here alone. He's going to eat his little sandwich there. He's using the put his voice command, so Buck can't hear him doing the nom sound, but Buck will aggress anyway, and he will actually take down Tuya there. Maybe a bit of BM there, a bit questionable really, since now he's got the 22-second respawn, even with only the 8-point cap, and Tuya is already up. But yeah, you got to go for this heavy 1v1, especially if they just sit eating a sandwich, you know. That
is prime Highlander. That is catching the heavy out while he's eating the sandwich, you know.
Peak performance.
Peak performance.
You may not like it.
But it doesn't look like they're going to take this advantage now. It's only Bees up in the top round, and he's just going to get air blasted away. He may be able to survive. He does with that health pack. He's got a conch now for his team, so hopefully it's going to help them defend that. Tuya is trying to take that high ground, but again, he's very weak, has to back off. So they had that opportunity to push forward there. There was no Buck, heavy on that high ground, but they didn't really get anything done. And Denkra there with the headshot onto Stinghan, getting a little bit stuck on this B push.
Yeah, Noz actually, Dito died anyway. Yeah, Noz there knew that the sniper gun was getting a bit of aggression, but he didn't know that there was a Tuya hiding just in the right-hand door. They're down to 19 HP, but does get out. But there's actually a spy going to Denkra, but not sure if that was just luck or if he heard it, but either way, his sentry gun's been sapped as well. And Seb, Dwoey there uses the sap sentry just to waltz in and 2-rocket Seb. And that'll be a medic drop for inVision, for Wiethoofd, sorry.
How did he just came, they're coming in from behind, and Crayon's coming in, he takes down 2! He takes down Denkra, he takes down Noz as well, and he almost takes down Sis!
Yeah, and again, now they're just plugging in forward to the Uber. I think maybe that's why Decisive wants his squat resistance strategy on the defense, put those traps in connector just to stop that happening, because that's what their team does. I think you sort of know a lot about the strategies of a team based on how they defend, because they'll be thinking, right, this is our strategy, but what if it's used against us? That's one thing that a lot of teams really miss. Is being either side of a push. And look at that, they've already got on some cat time early. It's worked out about equal because Tertiary had to use to get through. I'm not sure if he really had to, and there's actually a sandwich there, a very expert sandwich whereby Tuya onto the point there, so his scout can just get on there, get his nice health pack, and fire is in the pit. You hate to see it.
It's actually 4 down for them here. Crayon is just dodging around, and Tuya, the anti-aircraft gun that takes down Bees, and then Dwo's going to be jumping around. He's going to try and tackle Sun here, who has Heaven Control. He's at level 1 sentry. He's actually going to force a res off underneath the point here. Dwo is going to go again, does take down the sentry. Sun is surely going to go down as well, so Heaven Control has been lost. 2 minutes and 10 seconds around now for them to do. We have simultaneous caps going down at C. We've got Tuya and Tercio trying to cap C. Res is on the way as well, and Crayon is just solo capping E with Dwo watching the E spawn, and it's just so much pressure from so many different times. They've been forced here, extrasolar.
On the spy as well, you get Seb. That's cheaper. Or Yerba, mate. I just can't say Yerba, mate. Seriously, I'm sorry. We'll get Seb in the end there. And yeah, now we've got Sis and Co just trying to rotate through White Room. Just, they've sort of been out-rotated almost, but they're trying to just get players in heaven, which I think is the right thing to do in the end after you've had all that happen to you. And inVision now, they come through Death Corridor, they're on the D point. Yeah, I think Week8 were just a little bit slow on the uptake there. They weren't really too sure what to do. Like, there's a ×2 on C and E, but, maybe we could defend C and then get to E quickly, but... yeah, now we got a D cap here. There's only 1 minute and 20 seconds left, though. And again, it is a 48-second cap on E. But they've got the railings up now. Oh, and Dankra there. The other mate.
And Seb's gone down. Crayon just going on a mad one this round. The railings are up. The Ubers are going to be used. There's 3 up here. And it's, like you said, it's around 40-odd seconds to get that E-cap done. So basically, Week8 sellers need to wait for their respawns and just throw everything at the point. But at the moment, the control of the map is all on inVision. They have people on the point capping, they have people in White Room, and they have Tuka trying to meet people in this BC connector. He's just gunning them down.
Yeah, they've realised as well, like, the D cap, a lot of teams don't do it, but if you've got the time and the other team has Heaven, you definitely want to get that. Because that shuts off the doors leading to Heaven, and that forces Week8. They can only come from 1 or 2 places, White Room or BC connector. And because they had half cap time on BC, they obviously just won the round. But because they had half the cap time on E, the only place where Week8 could have come from was BC connector. So then the combo from Vision just backed off into BC and just held it down for anyone coming in. The only 2 places that could have gotten spat at the point were BC and Toilet. The spy was in Toilet on Noz already. They were just set up waiting for the people to come in and perfectly executed their E-cap.
Yeah, I mean, we did say, 5:15 times these days are fairly fast because teams do go for these AE attempts, but in reality, I think it's just down to 2 players. It was down to the flank, Duo and Crayon, 2 huge plays. Duo coming in behind, Chupa, getting the sap on the sentry, but Duo just walking in behind. Nobody had a clue that he was there. He managed to walk right up to the sentry and just land those rockets onto Seb to get the drop. And then that's recoverable, okay? You may have to give up B, you may even have to give up C at that point and back it up to, the White Room and try and hold the last 2 points. Totally doable because it still took them 1.5 minutes to do that play. But after that, Crayon walking through the exact same route, taking down Denkra, the sniper, Noz, the demo, and putting Sis down to about 15 HP. So he was totally out of the fight. The Uber comes in from inVision, they just clean up. So I mean, the flank doing a huge amount of work here, and that's something we see a lot, isn't it? Because you do pretty much have 2 kind of teams, 2 squads going around on the map, trying to watch the different areas.
Yeah, because if you think about Seal from above, it's sort of shaped like a donut, right? So you've got the middle of the donut, which is your E point, you've got the White Room and the outside. Sure, there's a few flank routes either way, but, it's a donut. So if you've got sort of half of your donut, if that makes sense, being occupied by a flank, and that's why holding it is so important. If you've got this one side of the map that's just completely, open, free to walk through, again, although it is a side of the map, it does lead to the more critical sides. If you can get a flank into on B and no one's watching it behind, and the gun's sapped as well, there's just no response to that. Unless your pyro reacts really quickly and just reflects it. And as you said, though, it was recoverable. But then they just got stuck in heaven. It was similar, really, to the push they did against inVision, except it wasn't the combo pushing the flank. They had the split focus. They had people they had to worry about people coming from connector. But then suddenly the flank's in from the D side. And it turns out the entirety of inVision had gone through the D side as well. So the flank had buffs, and they were able to just come in and take out Seb again. It's just... There's a lot of the time where there's just rotations that you just can't see coming, just because you're just focusing so much on your cap hard or the things that have already been called, or you're assuming where people have gone, and it's just a fast rotation can lose you around on this map, as we just seen.
I'm going to pretend I was listening to all of that and not thinking about what kind of sprinkles would be on the steel donut.
Go for the crispy creme CP steel.
I was in the supermarket today and I saw some. No, I mean, exactly what you said there. Exactly what you said. I mean, I do feel that Seb died a lot more on that round on the defense than he did in the previous one. Again, that's not calling fault of a medic. Usually it's down to, what kind of position they were in. And I felt that inVision this time were just being a lot more aggressive. They were regrouping, and whereas on the first round, their attacking phase, they pushed A, B, and C fairly quickly, they got kind of a little bit ham-handed on D&E, right? But they just were totally grouped up the entire time, and it's very, very difficult. Again, a criticism of this map: you make one mistake on this map, and it can kind of snowball into a very bad situation for you. And that's kind of what happened to Weak Excellers. inVision really didn't make any mistakes, and it just meant that they always had the advantage, and they always just played that advantage very well. So, very difficult to recover from a thing like that. I think we're just waiting for Nipnop to get back. He's just taking a bit of a break. Maybe a smoke, maybe a bathroom break, who knows? But we'll have to wait. I mean, whoever posted the fastest time, that'll be Weak Excellers, right? Because their attacking phase was
5:15.
So they get to choose whether they attack or defend first.
Yeah, I think Weak maybe. You could opt to defend first again, just learn from your mistakes really quickly. But I think they might opt to attack again, just because they know their attack is strong enough. They can get their time going. I don't really think they should be disheartened from this. Like, sometimes this can happen on Steel, but they really want to be protecting their medic a lot better, as we are readying up just now. Again, I think you are right with Weak Cake's rotations as well. On their attack, they maybe even could have... Sorry, their defense, they could have gotten to E a lot faster, since they sort of had Buck and Noz just on C point trying to deny the cap, but they were already pushed out since their heals were... I'm not really sure where Seb was. I think maybe he was going through Death Corridor to get his heals across to White Room, but maybe just a bit of a miscall there, because it eventually, of course, led to them getting to Heaven a bit late, and the flank coming in, and, well, we all know what happened with the 2 year afterwards.
Yeah, exactly, and it does seem that Tuya is the one that's being the one to deny wherever the push is coming from. Just that heavy getting tanked and, just blocking that area, and they're just basically running into a spun-up minigun, which is not very fun for any class, really. Very, very difficult, and it does look like it's going to be inVision in the blue, attacking first, and Weak Excellers in the red, defending. So, to put things into perspective, both teams winning a round means they both guarantee themselves 2 points, but there are another 2 points available, and that'll be counting as a golden cap win. So whoever wins this round will be winning this tie 4-2, the most points. And it was like you said, extrasolar, a golden cap was probably the most likely result here. But
it's more exciting. More exciting as well. I was saying in the last week's cast, this is one of the closest starts of the season I think I've ever seen for Prem. Certainly in recent memory. There's only really one team that isn't a playoffs contender currently. So we've got 5 teams all looking for the playoffs. Who's
not a playoff contender? I
I don't really want to name names, but I would say Factory Road at this point. The other 5 teams, I would say they're all looking to get playoffs. I mean, Factory Road would like playoffs, but I'm not sure if it's a goal at this point. Who knows? They might be pretty wrong throughout the season.
Well, they are playing Phaler right now on Steel, so or that may have finished already. I don't know. So we'll have to see. But mate, mate +8. This is the team now. I'm joking. Seb going down there. That is a drop.
They've just been completely forced out as well. There are only 3 left alive. Absolute destruction there for Weak Cake. And again, this is Tertigo won't even have to use Zuba coming in. This is even better than the last round so far for inVision. They just forced them out instantly. You don't need to walk your soldier all the way around, just get your spy in. And now just... he does force Tercio, yeah. So again, this is almost... Sure, it was fire trading for it this time and not a force, but it's almost a mirror of the last round. So we'll have to see if Weak Cake can react appropriately this time. But Noz is actually in, he's just doing some damage, but Denko, he's so weak, dies to Duo there. That's not what you want to see, using his sniper when the other team's about to cap C.
Been really impressed with Duo. He's just Detoed there, takes B's with a sticky trap. I'm a bit worried here.
I think they're just going for Tertio here. Oh, look at this though. The Pyro comes in, so again, I'm not sure if it's really ideal. Fire's in. I'm not sure if they've heard him, but they're rotating around anyway. If you're sacking for the medic here as defenders, you want to make sure you get that pick. Because your respawns are so much longer that even if you do get that frag, it doesn't often benefit you as much as it would on another map, for example. Just because of the nature of Steel. And Stinger there gets jumped by Noz there, and Seb's actually been forced there, I think, more. Not really sure what happened there.
They used the Uber, and I think they were trying to catch people out on the side of White Room. There was a bit of an interchange. Sun has a level 3, and he is barricaded himself into the little room up in heaven. So there is nobody getting in unless they take the teleporter, and that's only the people who can do that is his teammates. Doi was going to try and jump in there, but it's a wrangled sentry, and Yerba-mate is just around the corner. He's going to go for the sap.
There's an Uber from behind, though, into Weekate. They had no idea they were there, but it was only really the tail end, so they do manage to survive and sort of kite it a bit, but they have lost Buck and Spans, Bees, and Denker in the process, and now they're getting chased out of White Room. Seb is 2 HP, will get taken down by the pipe in the end. And now inVision, they're looking to walk their players through, but they've realised that there's so many people down for Weekake, they can just take Heaven. They got the Sun as well. This is looking very bad for Weekake right now.
It is just over 2 minutes for the first 3 points, and they have simultaneous caps going down on D and E. Tuka and Reza on the D point, and I don't think Weekake are even going to bother trying to contest that. They have to go for the E point right now because inVision have so much control. Duo is getting loads of heals there in the BC connector, but Denkro with the body shot is going to take down Tercio.
I'm not sure if it will matter though.
It might buy them a few more seconds, it might buy them a little bit more time, because that's what they need to do right now. Sun's mini sentry is the only thing blocking the point, but I think inVision are going to get the cap down, and it may be an under 4:30 time here.
Oh yeah, like I said earlier, you know, like the medic frag doesn't benefit you as much as it would on another map, just because is the nature of Steel. It's more of a zone map really than anything, and sure, the lack of heals, if you have your players up on the other team, it means that you can get pushed in or you can't take space. But because inVision had already taken the space, the medic frag didn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things because of those long respawns, so they were able to get that cap off anyway, and that is 4 minutes and 8 seconds for 5 points. So we're going to see something special coming out here from Weekate. They might opt to go the old SECK AE or just go drop down or something, but their fastest time was 1 minute and 7 seconds slower than this, so they're really going to have to put it out of the bag to get these last 2 points.
Do you know what? Do you know what the strat is? Do you know what the real strat is?
Oh, the SNSD strat. I think was it against Kill Switch? I think it was.
Yeah, like, yeah. I'm hoping Emilio is watching because he hates it when I bring it up.
They lost. I think I know what we're talking about. When they lost E really quickly. So then I think it was Kill Switch. They said, okay, let's just hard hold A, and then SNSD. I think it was the fastest ever time in an official of CP Steel. It was in the region of 50 seconds to 1 minute.
Yeah, it was under 1 minute.
Yeah, they just walked straight through B onto E. Just ignore A completely. Maybe we'll see it. I mean, they're gathering outside the door here, so you never know.
I mean, stranger things have happened, but yeah, like you said, it's going to have to be something special out of Weekake here. They're going to need to start, you know, getting some picks and actually making these exchanges count. And you just know that inVision know that they have to do that, so they're going to be playing extra careful and not trying to make any mistakes. But I mean, 4 minutes, that's still plenty of time for an AE push.
On this map.
Yeah.
You know, as long as it's not in danger zone of like, you know, less than 2 minutes, pretty much anything can go down. There's that much time.
Fire!
Oh, the engineer down. That's going to be the prompt to go drop down, or no, they're actually not really sure. Yeah, they are going drop down in the end, I think. Or they're opting to take White Room. I disagree with this, honestly. I mean, I know you've got the engineer, but normally when you push through White Room this side, the defenders will not rotate their engineer until they're absolutely certain they have to. You know, because you can just defend B. But Bees is now checking in heaven for any stickies or teleporters or anything, and now he's going to take BC connector. But again, like, the gun can't be moved, so maybe it's the advantage of Weekate that they have lost Denkra. And they haven't gotten their engineer into heaven just yet, but there's no teleporter up into B now, so...
Fire has just sapped everything.
Yeah.
But inVision, I don't know. I mean,
Weekake, they're not sure what to do now. I think they want to go drop down now, but they wanted to do this ideally about 40 seconds earlier. You know, as soon as they got the NG, just go for a drop down because they wasted so much time during this. Sure, they forced the engineer onto minis, but you know now. I don't know.
There's a lot of pressure for them right now. I mean, Spans is on the E point and Sun has a level 3 in heaven, so they have good control over E right now. But all it's really going to take is some rotation. There you go. Spans takes a Christmas ball to the face, and then Duo's just like, Merry Christmas, and shoots a rocket at him. So, I mean, very difficult. And there we go. Suns is just going to get overwhelmed. Yerba-mate and Crayon just combining together and take him down. So that's the thing. If you leave 2 people trying to cap E and then do the rest of your team...
Yeah, they got split there. The repush does come in. They got split and they lost Dito the demo. And look at the health on them now. Like, Tertio isn't giving them heals and the Conch is in, but he's nowhere near anyone to benefit from that. He opted on the medic instead, and they just lost Tuya and Stingen. So no Chwo. Like, Trooper gets Stenker in the end there, but I'm not sure how much it'll affect this push. Since they don't have to really push connect, there's only one person alive now for inVision, and that's just absolute destruction. Yeah, they really got split there. They lost the demo, and then they tried to commit to B anyway. If there's just one rule on CP Steel, if you lose your demo and you're not in B, never go back in. And now there's battalions coming out here from B's on the E point here, and that's going to stop any potential headshots coming out from Stingen here. And they've gotten so much cat time already, they're not even opting for the C point, they're just spamming across. And the Uber's gone into the spawn. I think this might be around here.
This could be around. There's nothing really. There's only Dwo, but there's a Pyro on the point. Actually, Dwo does take down the Pyro, but he's going to cost him his life. There's only 3 players left alive for inVision.
Yeah.
They're just getting wiped for a second time. There's only Tercio alive, and no one's going to be able to stop the point now. And WeakCake somehow, after looking like they were struggling with only a couple of minutes to go, Seb falls into the pit. That's going to happen in the logs. It happened before the cap. Seb, yep. That's going on your logs for the season, my friend. But yeah,
well, there go with stats. Yeah. One more death on the medic class. Yeah, like, that's the thing. They like we're talking about this in pregame with the decision making. You know, one bad decision, and then that's the map gone. And it could be something really subtle. Like they got split. inVision did because they had spans on the E point. I'm not sure how Dito died, but either way, they lost Dito, and then they opted to try and go back in with the conch. But it's like they were trying to go for Seb. At that point, if you have a conch and you have no demo, that conch has to be with your combo, not just to go in and try and kill the medic with. And I think that was really inVision's fatal error at this map, more than anything, because they were trying to take the ground on B, and it's so difficult. There's so much space you've got to cover. There's no direct damage onto the blue team if they're on the point. You know, all we've really got is hit scan and assault. There's nothing with arcing projectiles to go over there. There's nothing really AoE, so they just that's really sad actually, just to see that coming out of team like inVision. They just chose to come back into B, and as you said, it snowballs. That was they just wiped there and then, and they couldn't do anything after that because they've got these 24-second respawns, and WeakCake have got like 8 or 9 people alive. They just go onto the E point and deny the ground.
I mean, it's just how it was almost like a flick of a switch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like it seemed that WeakCake had a bit of a no, I don't want to say struggle, but they, like you said, they should have gone drop down maybe and challenged B once Nipnop had died, and then they decided to go for the AE push, and then Sun was already set up there, and Spans was getting cap time, but no one else was supporting those two, and then they decided to go for B as well, and it looked like inVision were just in total control of the map, but then one mistake led to just like a cascade of issues that resulted in them kind of just getting stuck. And if you completely wipe on this map, sometimes that's all it takes for you to kiss goodbye to the entire round. Not just like a point, like it would be on, Upward or Gullywash or whatever. That's an entire round off the board.
Yeah, like I think they might have just gotten taken off guard there because we had the we had spans coming in, and normally you don't see pressure on E unless you're going for an AE push and everyone's going through White Room. Or they're going for a B to E push, or anything after that. But the way that WeakCake were positioned, you wouldn't expect to see pressure on E, because you would, you're sitting in connector. The entire team for WeakCake, including their soldier, as I might add, were actually sitting on B. So Spans just comes in and just splits the focus, and I think inVision just might have gotten caught off guard just by that one thing. One player on this map is often just all it takes to change things.
Yeah, we actually do have some combined logs there. I mean, I apologize. I did call the chat. I said, can someone combine the logs? It already happened. It was our production's problem. I'm a little bit nervous because we do have a LAN coming up. I hope production is going to pull their finger out and link me combined logs instead of 3 different logs and bait me. Just unbelievable. You think this guy's done this before. But looking at the combined logs, thank you, Sis, for the combination. Rez wanted me to point out that he got a combined 4 kills on that map. But I called it out during the game. Dwo was really impressing me. Like, Does top frag was on the losing team eventually, but 35 kills, same as Noz, to be fair. Noz getting just over 420 DPM there, which was just short of Dito's 450. But Dwyer was doing a lot, I felt. I just think, obviously the big play was the drop onto Seb in round 2, of course. But I felt a lot of the time he was using the conch and things like that, just really controlling the areas and doing very, very well. But a lot of equal stats there. I always like this when I look down the logs. You got both heavies on 29, both scouts on 19, spies 18 and 17 each. Like very equal logs going down the board. But obviously that doesn't tell the whole story. But is there anything standing out for you there extra?
I think, like, as you said, like the thing that stands out for me is there's like apart from like Dwo's huge top frag, then like he's got 20 more frags than Bees. Nothing really in particular does stand out that much. Like you expected Emma to get a lot of kills on steel, and I think that's really indicative of the way that the game works. Just on this particular map, a lot of the time, there were just the odd hero plays now and then getting advantages off. But both teams, in their actual exchanges, were often equal. They had one exchange going to Weekate, one exchange to inVision, lots of equal exchanges. And I think the logs really do reflect that. But Rez maybe those 4 kills, that's very interesting. But we'll just say that he was playing really passive this game,
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was 2 kills on the scout, 1 on the soldier, and 1 on the enemy pyro. Those are pretty important.
Buck actually getting his big 10k healing, just being the tank class there.
Whew, damage taken stats for old Buck winning in the damage taken stats. I mean, like just looking at the other stats, like both snipers, 19 headshots for Denkra, 18 for Stinghan. Yeah. Both spies, 15 backstabs each. Like it was a very, I have to say, it was a very close game. Like it was each a game, round could have gone each way.
Yeah, it was a game of the brains as opposed to a game of huge one person just top fragging all the time and just getting everything done. And that is just the way that Steel works. Like, I think the main argument for keeping Steel in the rotation as opposed to taking out because of the snowball aspect is just every class on Steel has a place and they're always doing something. There's some maps where say you're on Upward Last, you're pushing a scout. To an extent, unless you're getting your Uber in, there's not too much that you're doing on that. There's just some places on maps where, you sort of got a class sitting there not doing too much. You're present but not occupied. But on Steel, everyone has always got something to do, and that's just one thing that I really like about it for Highlander. And, of course, everyone has got equal logs, so I think it was just a game of the rotations.
Apparently Rez's internet died. So yeah, I mean there's the reason for the
excuse,
the low numbers. So commiserations for all of those people out there who've ever had bad internet and disconnections during games.
It's okay. There.
We've all been there, and it's tough. But look, I'm not sure we won't have an updated table. That's not possible right now, but that does mean that Weekake sellers will be moving on to a total of 7 points, with inVision up to 8. So both teams just getting a few more points, very close between each other, but, they're going to need wins in the next couple of weeks to try and aim for those playoff places for sure. We did have another game today, which was Failer versus Fake Tree Road. We'll have no spoilers in case you want to watch an STV or something. And then it's on a Sunday when we have Strong Opinions versus Kitty Bakum Bardami. That'll be the final week 3 game before we move off of Steel onto the land of Gullywash and Coal Plant. But that's the game. Weekake sellers taking it 2-1 in a very, very close game indeed. I've been CeeJaey, joined by extrasolar and Wiethoofd. Thank you very much for watching. We have some shout-outs, of course, to the upcoming LAN. It's less than 3 weeks to go. This time in 3 weeks, I'll be at LAN already. I'll have my PC set up, and I'm pretty sure there'll be Highlander going on right now. If I've looked at this schedule right, there should be Highlander going on right now in 3 weeks' time. So check it out. From the 17th to the 20th of April in Copenhagen, there's both 6v6 and Highlander. There's some big Highlander teams who are going to be going, some Prem teams, and you can watch all of the action on KritzKast. Of course, Wiethoofd will be there trying to set things up. We do have some merch as well, Extra Soda, which Wiethoofd told us to talk about, but I've totally forgotten what it was. Something about saving some money.
Oh, yeah, a cut of the sales of all KritzKast merchandise, and any of you who are kind enough to subscribe to the KritzKast Twitch channel, a cut of that will be going towards the staff for Copenhagen games. There'll be just maybe accommodation, flights, a few drinks there, all sorts of things, just to make that experience just that much better for them, and of course bring a better LAN for everybody.
So some nice t-shirts, actually. I might have to pick one up. I didn't get any stuff last time. I usually don't, but that looks like a decent t-shirt. But thank you very much for watching, everyone. We'll be back for some more Highlander in the future. Maybe some more of the Sixes playoffs, as the other divisions outside of Prem are trying to find out who will be champion of Div 1 and 2. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Hi, old beaver! Away!